what you would do if you were captain? Have you got some plans in place, or has it all a bit of come upon you a bit suddenly?
Yeah, look, has come a bit of a sudden thing, but the opportunity was going to arise at some point, and obviously it's that now. So it's about putting my thinking cap on and trying to assess what we can achieve better than what we did last performance.
Do you have some ideas that you've seen just from your time in the field over here that you think if I was in charge I'd be doing this or that?
No, it's not something in the back of my mind I like to think about. I like to think Steve does the best job he can. He always asks us out there what our thoughts are, and we give him our opinions. And generally, sometimes he makes those decisions when he's out there and listens to a few of the guys. But he usually goes away about how he likes to go about that. Obviously, our last game wasn't the best performance, and we just got to come out this game and try and better that.
Do you see anything radically different? You broken over or something?
Yeah, I might open the bowling. Now, look, for us, it's about getting back to basics, hitting that that full stump, top of off. We've probably gone away from the basics last game. We didn't bat as well as we like. We didn't bowl as well as we like, and our fielding was quite poor. We're going to have to put our, all three facets of the game together to come out and win this game here.
How helpful will that captaincy experience from the IPL be over here? Obviously a different format, but knowing there's conditions and how to sort of go through bowls and how to use them.
Yeah, look, an extra 30 overs of thinking. You've got plenty of time in the game. You've got lots of overs up your sleeve, and when you're batting, you can start the game a little bit earlier than normal. So, for me, it's about whether we bat or bowl first. It's about adapting to conditions, as Steve always wants us to do. I know for us as a team, we always generally do that well. As I said, last game was pretty poor, and we've got to come out here and start the conditions. The wicket looks a little bit different. Looks like there's a bit of grass in the wicket, but we'll have to wait and see tomorrow to see how that pans out for the following day.
What is your captaincy experience? I think it's 2 years in the IPL, maybe 1 or 2 BBL games. Much else beyond that? No,
it hasn't. And I think the last couple of years, the experience in the IPL has given me a great insight to to myself as a person. I think you've always think you've got capabilities of being a captain and a leader, but it's about getting feedback from your peers and how they come to you when the challenge arises, when you get the opportunity to actually captain those people out in the field. I've had some great feedback over the last couple of years with the IPL. Now it's about putting my mind out here come this game and see what I can bring to the table as a captain and what feedback I get from my peers, and hopefully we get a win on the board.
And Dasara Pereira, he's given you a bit of feedback in game 2. I mean, I think he's got you twice. I mean, from a batting point of view, you're obviously working on getting going again and getting a big score.
Yeah, look, it's never comfortable when you're probably not hitting them as well as you like, and you sort of get injured when you're in form, and then you come back into the game and you come over here and you're busting your backside to try and scratch around for a couple of runs, and then come into the one day stuff and you sort of try and up the ante a bit and get nicked off 2 games in a row to a quick. So it's it can be quite challenging, but you just got to keep backing yourself and backing your game and don't go away from that. You got to come to training, do all the hard yards at training, do what you do to be in the best frame of mind come ball 1, and that's all I got to do. That's all the rest of the guys have to do.
Because as you say, you were in fantastic form before that injury in the West Indies. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. I mean, it does happen. You've had more than one knock on the hand, but you've had to fight your way back through that. Yeah,
they're the setbacks that you always face, and that's the challenge of this great game. When you're in form, some things do happen and they don't go your way. Then when you do come back in the setup, you've got to find your feet again. It's quite a fickle game. It's very hard to be up all the time and be in the best form you can be. There's 3 forms of the game, and as I said, we've gone from red ball to white ball. It's gone from sort of being a little bit tentative and trying to scratch around to try and actually muscle the ball into gaps and muscle it over the boundary. So you've got to try and work out that balance and tempo and get that right.
What was your initial reaction when you found out that Steve was heading back? Like, was you probably just surprised, but were you a bit excited or daunted?
Oh, look, I can feel for Steve and the amount of cricket that he's been playing, and look, the stats he has on the board, runs wise, and world's best batter and player. I think he deserves a break. Whether or not it was during the series, before the series, it is what it is. He's at home having a deserved break, and we've got to come out here and it's 1-1. We're here to win the series, and that's what we're going to concentrate on now.
Given you play all formats as well, have there been times where you've almost thought, gee, I wish they pulled me out of a series, a couple of months back, just through sheer workload, the amount of cricket you're playing these days?
Look, for me, fortunate enough, I've put my thumb in the way of that. It's been knocked a couple of times. There's probably times there where I was probably leaning towards having a break, and then you cop a bit of misfortune by getting injured, and that's sort of been my freshen up. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, there's you've got X amount of cricketers around the world playing all three forms. We've seen it with a lot of teams, England, South Africa. Players are getting rested here and there. You just have to. Everyone has to adapt, and we've got to reassure that everyone is human, and it is going to be very, very tough with the scheduling these days to play all three forms in every single game possible. There has to be some leniency somewhere.
The young bloke that played his first T20 for Australia, everyone thought of one day he'd be captaining the team.
Yeah, look, it's a huge honour for myself. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'll probably be standing here, walking out to going to be captain of my country. Now I feel honoured and thrilled. I'm really pumped to get out there and just help the guys and lead from the front. I think every time I walk in that field I give 100% and try and get the guys up and going, and that'll be no different come this next game.
Who's your vice captain?
I don't know, to be honest. I wouldn't have a clue. I think that just gets handed out. I think at the end, I think they might come to me and ask. I don't know. I have no idea how that works.
You've got a hole at number 3. Sean Marsh would be a good chance to fill that, presumably. What would you expect from him? Obviously, he looked terrific in the third test.
Yeah, obviously the selectors have a decision to make who takes that position, and we know what he's capable of. He came out and blasted 100, and that's what happens when you have guys on the boundary that are been running the drinks and bending over backwards to do everything they can to try and get out there. And he put his hand up, got the opportunity and took it, and that just shows you the hunger that the guys have that aren't who aren't having that selection fortune by being put in the team, and they're always constantly putting their hand up and are ready to go, and that just shows the strength and depth we have in Australian cricket today.
A little bit of niggle the other night, how the guys going, balancing that line between the competitive side and the ICC stepping in, which they have already.
Yeah, look, it's always a tough one for me to argue. I'm usually the front and centre and the culprit. I've had to tame it down a little bit after a bit of a good behaviour. You do have to be careful, and you do have to bite your tongue. I still am guilty of it here and there. I do probably nudge that line, not cross it as much as I used to. But that's just what happens. It's the competitive edge when you're out there, and I think when sometimes things aren't going your way, you do get a little bit a bit of white line fever, and I personally think from a bowler's point of view, on when they're bowling against batters, I think I do like that kind of aggression. There is certain degrees where you can get up and in your face. If a bowler bowls a couple of good balls, you as a batsman play and miss, I'd love the bowler to come up to me and just say, any danger of you hitting the ball or this and that. It's great competitiveness until you're not going to touch each other or anything when you're out there. It's not going to be physical. It's just a bit of banter, and so be it. One's going to have your name on it, or you're going to be the one who gets on the upper hand. But that's the thing, in cricket that we do love. We love a bit of competitive edge.